and the first booking of the match. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that. It looked as though they both had eyes on the ball and maybe a clash of heads, but the replays will tell us a bit more about the first yellow card of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a tough challenge, and I think that's about all it was. You can see Walters has just been pushed around by Stengel for the first 20 minutes of this match, and just going for the ball there, so it's unfortunate. Newcastle in a very good position. She's been busy, Stengel.
So Stengel now becomes header number 1 if they can connect. Van Egmond's delivery. And Burke brought the ball down. Assistant referee's flagging.
It didn't look like a clean grab at first sight. It's a good ball in from Emily Van Egmond. Probably a bit too much on it. No, she's not picked it up clean enough. It's not the whole ball, though.
No. Measures up Newcastle's first corner. 34 degrees. That is the sort of taxing conditions that the summer footballers have to get used to. Katie Stengel there scored the only goal of the game so far. And it was a moment that the Wanderers would really rather forget, Sarah, as we take another look at how it played out.
It was a nothing ball. We've talked about it. Nicola Orgel a little bit high. Katie Stengel was probably just doing the routine follow-up, and couldn't believe her luck. Trudy Burke absolutely nowhere where she should be. You can see Ellie Brush. She'd love to have that again, to see that Trudy was out and just make sure she cleared it. But other than that, I think they've not been so bad. But you can see as this match wears on, if Newcastle Jets are going to be able to keep the ball as they have been, even though possession's 52% for Wanderers.
And now a long ball is going to sit up. Halloway challenging, and the referee bails out Cass Davis with a foul. Cuts onto the left. Great ball in, and Rosie Sutton's first time finish well wide of the target. As we see Erica Halloway speaking to the referee Lara Lee as they leave the pitch at halftime.
It is very hot out here. You are 1-0 up. That's a great start to the game. How do you go on with it in the second half?
Yeah, I think we just need to, obviously in the final third, just our execution in the last third of the half is what's letting us down. But yeah, we've got a lot of possession, so we just need to capitalise on that.
All right, Em, well, we look forward to seeing you back out there in the second half. Well done. W League on Sunday will return after the break. At the desk, we'll have a look at all the highlights from the first half action. We'll see you then. 1-0 to the Newcastle Jets as Katie Stengel pounces on an opportunity against her former team. That is all that separates these two teams on the board here at McDonald Jones Stadium for W League on Sunday this afternoon. I'm joined by Sarah Walsh and Lisa Devana as we run our eye over all this first half action. Been a great game so far.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been end-to-end stuff. I'm loving the defence from Newcastle Jets.
Yeah, I agree. Newcastle, I thought, started off pretty slow. I thought the Wanderers first 15 minutes looked like the team that were going to score, but once the midfield started to gel, Newcastle midfield started to gel, they started to stretch out the Wanderers midfield and obviously going front third, they did the same. So the results came.
It did, and the result is 1-0 on the scoreboard. So overall, fairly even.
Yeah, look, I'm actually surprised by these stats. I know I did see them beforehand, but Wanderers must be happy with that to only be a goal down. I think they've been outplayed, but look, they're going to find themselves back in this in the second half. So.
And that chance, of course, wasn't really a constructed one. In fact, it was a bit of a miscommunication between Ellie Brush and Trudy Burke. They were looking at each other in the eyes, and obviously no one opened their mouth. And then Katie Stengel pounces on the opportunity and knocks it over the line against her former team.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the great touch there from the striker, and then it's Katie Stengel routine follow-up and nothing happening. Ellie Brush earlier, she's seen that Trudy Burke was on her line. I don't know why she kept coming out. So, these things happen, but obviously put themselves on the back foot. Ellie Brush just completely thought Trudy Burke had stayed. She probably should have stayed, because Ellie Brush had already, she'd handled it. But, maybe they didn't hear themselves out there, but wrong decision here. And, oh, look, this is nothing. They can easily, rectify this in the second half. We got to see them play well in the back end of that first half. So, and Katie Stengel, she's playing really well.
Plenty
really
of opportunities to come.
Yeah,
absolutely. Lisa, what did you make of the goal?
Yeah, look, it's been pretty direct. And it was from a long pass, and obviously the communication between Ellie and Trudy. You know, that's the goal conceded from that.
Of course, the Wanderers have had plenty of opportunities, not plenty of opportunities, I should say. The opportunities have been few and far between in this first half. They did control the game, as Lisa said, for the first 10 or 15 minutes, but Newcastle just pushed. So there's a couple of chances here, one from Olivia Price, and just a quick update on her. Of course, she came off as a substitution in the first half. She's got a bit of a groin strain, and the other, Rosie Sutton, probably the best of the other chances.
Yeah, look, we've not talked about well, the fact that they're creating opportunities, they're creating options to get around that final third. I was talking about with Lisa off air. There've been similar types of runs from the strikers. They need to add a little bit more variation between who's dropping off, who's coming to the ball, who's running in behind, and who's supporting as the midfielders. I think it might have something to do with the fact that the midfielders have been defending for so long. They're finding it really hard to push up and support the strikers.
Yeah, and just composure. I think that's lacking both ends. You know, the final pass, you know, the final finish, it's probably a reason why the goals haven't come.
And the Wanderers really struggling with that extra midfielder at the moment.
They are, and I love that Newcastle have identified that, but I spoke about it on air. As soon as they realise there's that space up on the wings, and Holloway's not been standing out there, she's not been stretching the defence. They've been sitting pretty as a back three and not really had to really make those hard decisions whether you're going to push out wide or push up forward. So
what do the Wanderers do, Lisa, to put pressure on the back three?
I think they'll have to be a bit more compact in the midfield, and personally, just get them on the transition. They're three at the back. Just go forward. Just keep going forward with numbers, and I'm sure they'll get a goal from that.
Well, it was Emily Van Egmond's first game back in the W League for a number of years. It was great to see her on the park. She got off to a pretty tough start there, standing herself up and not taking any rubbish from anyone. And we've seen her put some beautiful balls in there. Great touch, and there was one in particular, a 50-metre pinpoint cross.
Oh, look, she's just controlling it. She's screening that back line, and she's it's not even in a preferred position. She plays as a 10 or an 8 with the Matildas. She just plays it like a boss, screening that back and actually picking up the ball and starting their attack from their defensive mid is what's having them see this success. I mean, that's where she loves to play as well.
Yeah, well, you see her do it from the Matildas. You're seeing her do it now. She could just pass from anywhere, and she's got the vision in the game. So she keeps doing that, you know, open up the space, and something could happen from it.
Yeah. Well, we will find out if the Western Sydney Wanderers can make their way back into this game and really make a match of it. It is the Newcastle Jets versus Western Sydney. Coming up next, of course, this is an A-League doubleheader. So the Jets play Wanderers, and then the Central Coast Mariners game. Shootout with Tara on the couch a little later on. And then tomorrow night, the A-League hour, wrapping up the weekend of A-League. Plenty more to come here on Fox Sports. Second half of this game on the way.
And another back pass. Little tactical victories each time for Newcastle when the Wanderers have to retreat, and now a shallow back pass. Has to get Burke out of her line. Ball bouncing on, and bouncing kindly, Rosie Sutton. All of a sudden, Sutton's through, and the finish is lacking as Ekestrom holds onto the ball. And late desperation from Tash Pryor, enough to put off the shot and leave Rosie Sutton sprawling on the deck.
Oh, it was a really strong challenge from Tash Pryor in the end, but again, caught out at the back. Davis has been put forward. She just hesitated to have that shot. She needed to hit it, pull the trigger a little bit earlier. Thought she had a bit more time here. Had to come a little bit earlier. Tash Pryor, good recovery run. You can see she's so dangerous getting in behind.
Sutton on her feet. Defenders set to arrive from overseas. Right now, the defence today has to deal with this corner. Header coming in. Good one from Waldus, and held onto by Ekestrom. Just a bit too far out to trouble the keeper. Holloway's making a run. Erica Holloway at the ball. Body checked. No foul. Hopeful appeals for a penalty. Erica Holloway comes up empty.
Well, nothing to see here, but an amazing run from Holloway. I don't know how she didn't get a foot on that. Control the ball and open goal.
Come on.
You see, that was a very dangerous. That was more of a meaningful, less hopeful.
Cutting in Pieta. And battered away by Ekestrom. Rosie Sutton challenging, but the goalkeeper, Britt Ekestrom, who's had a bit more work to do in this second half, coming up with a vital clearance.
Yeah, this is a great ball in, quick and early, and it had venom on it. Well done by the keeper. Nothing in that. She's collected the ball. See Pieti. It was a great ball in.
Stengel. Roberts committed. Stengel took the ball. Curving it in, too close to the keeper. Holloway. Labonta. Scooping it in. Pieta hooks it back. Halloway! Wanderers level! What an assist from Marlis Pieta. And Erica Halloway has tied this game up at 1-1. Look at what it means to Rich Byrne and the Wanderers bench. Erica Halloway has this game level.
What about the floating ball here to Pieta? You can see the scoop here. She's seen the run. She made it early. Nothing ball. No one picked up Halloway. Pieta, the skill to be able to hit that behind her. She could see that Halloway was there. She'd made the run. She found the space. She only needed one go at that. But I guess you could say it's poor defending from Newcastle Jets to not pick up that scooped ball from Labonta.
And when you're walking the 1-0 tightrope, that's all it takes. And the complexion of the game changes considerably. Handball here. Now a Newcastle team who might have felt like they were meandering towards a 2-0 lead and game over. Have to go and try to win this one all over again with just 12.5 minutes plus stoppage to go. And who knows, Wanderers, with 2 subs in hand, might fancy their chances of nicking it. Houston's free kick. Burke comes out, misses the ball. Wanderers straight back in front. Jenna Kingsley on the spot. Parody didn't last long, and Jenna Kingsley goes over to celebrate with her fans in the crowd.
Well, it's the most dangerous time for the team to score straight off the back of another one. But Trudy Burke, 2 major mistakes today. Huge, costly mistakes. She's got to punch this. She's come out. She wasn't sure about it. If she wasn't sure, she had to stay. Jenna Kingsley picking up the scraps. Makes no mistake from there. It's a great little header, actually. You can see she loves it. Oh, Trudy Burke.
Oh, adrenaline pumping. Trying to find the back of the net again.
She did well. You have to anticipate that the keeper's going to make a mistake every single time, and she was where she needed to be, and she still had to finish it. It's good to see her on the score sheet. Confidence with her injuries.
Van Egmond. Ricochet off 2 Wanderers players. They can't get it away. Pryor's volley now. And that one lands on the roof of the nets. That would be some way to cap off her debut if she was able to score. Wanderers, they know they're only 1 goal away from getting something out of this match. Falcon, neat turn and fouled by Brewer. Labonta's free kick. And a good header away and a foul to boot. A little bit overzealous there. Halloway challenging, and it looks as though we've got
double cramps.
Yes. It's an interesting sight. 2 injured players just side by side. Tash Pryor there, the Newcastle defender, and Erica Halloway, the scorer for the Wanderers. Through ball, flag up against Jenna Kingsley, and we tick into the last minute of regulation. Is finding Roberts. Is this the chance for Wanderers? Alex Roberts driving the cross. Great header away by Pryor. Pieta was setting herself at the far post. Labonta. Roberts is in space. How's the delivery? Honing in on the target, landing on the roof of the net.
Happens quick, it looks good. Roberts just takes that quick touch. She knew she had to get it in early.
Lee Falcon. Roberts cross. Sliced into the airspace of Andrews. Commitment from Waldus. Now Labonta. It's low Labonta. And headed away. Kalia Hogg. Chance after chance. Pieta. Can she create something? It's out for a corner. No, it's all over. The referee has decided 3 minutes of stoppage is enough. And the Newcastle Jets prevail in the opening round. Wanderers' last hurrah comes up short. And at McDonald Jones Stadium, it finishes. Newcastle Jets 2, Western Sydney Wanderers 1. Lola Bonta ran herself into the ground today. Not a surprise that she's cramping up at the end. They just couldn't find the creative spark at the end of the game to conjure up an equaliser. Handshakes and amicable between the players. in the end, it is Newcastle who prevail in round 1 of the W League. Stengel and Kingsley cancel out Holloway's goal to give Newcastle Jets a 2-1 win. See Talitha Kramer there, made a very good debut for Wanderers. She'll be frustrated that she leaves on the losing team. So we're ready to get some post-match reaction now. Let's throw it down to pitch level and Amy Duggan.
Thank you very much. Tayon with Emily Van Egmond as she sucks in the big ones after that game. And breathing hard, I know. Take your time, talk us through it. It's absolutely wonderful to be back here, hometown, playing for your home team and get the win. Firstly, congratulations, you are our NAB player of the match. $500 for you, and a reaction on how that felt.
Yeah, look, I think the first half we definitely dominated and probably unlucky to get another one. Second half, credit to the West Sydney Wanderers, they came out and they pressed us a little bit higher, which we found a bit difficult at times, especially with the wind and those long balls. But yeah, we conceded, and then I guess the most positive thing was that we reacted straight away and got a goal back. So proud of the girls. Our first game, our first proper game with the team, and hopefully we can build on that momentum.
Absolutely. You've had a pretty short pre-season with the team. It's been a great ride for women's football, and obviously the W League just capping that off.
Yeah, obviously it's the 10th season now, the W League, and from what I've heard, it's going to be the most competitive season yet. So I'm just as excited as everyone else, to see the progression of women's football here in Australia. So it's awesome.
And besides getting the win and the 3 points today, what else impressed you about the team out there today?
Look, we're young, and we're exciting. We've got a great coach in Craig Deans, and he wants to play an exciting brand of football that we're all trying to buy into as quickly as possible. So first game, 3 points, couldn't ask for a better start.
Absolutely, and our player of the match. Congratulations, Emily Van Egmond. Look forward to catching up with you next week when you take on Sydney. Thanks very much. I'm joined now by one of the co-captains of the Western Sydney Wanderers, Erica Holloway. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. How are you, Amy?
I'm pretty good. Disappointing to go down like that.
Yeah, very disappointing. I think we put in for the 90. We probably came out firing a little more in the second half. We probably gave them a little bit too much respect in the first half there, but credit to the girls, we did put in for the 90.
You've had a pretty good pre-season altogether. You're down 1-0 at half-time. The coach is saying to you, push forward, and this wind is a big advantage in the second half. Did you heed that advice? Because you certainly came out like it'd given you a bit of a rollicking in there.
Yeah, no, we did. We just knew that we needed to kind of try and keep the ball a little more, not sit back as much and let them run at us. So I think the second half, that's what we did a little better. But then in the end, maybe just execution of some passes. I think we were getting on top there in the second half.
And what happened? You got back level on the scoreboard. Congratulations on the goal. That must have felt great, firstly. But then what happened?
Oh, that's a bit of a credit to Pieti, that goal. That was just a glory goal for me. I just tapped in. Yeah, I don't know what happened then. I was actually off swigging some vinegar when that came about. But I think it was off a free kick, so it wasn't really a breakdown in play. But, I mean, we kept going. We just didn't get there in the end.
All right, Erica, commiserations on the loss. Plenty to build on for next week, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks, Amy.
I like the way that they go forward, and you get to see these long balls. This ball here, again, routine. Just needs to be picked up. Trudy probably just needed to stay on a line, and you can see the frustration there from Ellie Brush. It's just it wasn't working for him today, and you clean that up. They're a really good squad, and they're very competitive today. They're not to be written off. You see this ball, this is a great ball from Labonta. Spectacular football there from Pieti and Holloway to clean up, as you said, the glory goal. They're good in patches, but sometimes they just look a little bit uncertain in that final third. Here they weren't uncertain at all. And they pushed and they pushed, and they did push for the 90 minutes. There's a lot to like about them, I keep saying. Get the two young Matildas back, clean up the defensive errors, get Jada Wyman in goals. And here it is, that's just a routine punch from the keeper. It's almost unforgivable. If you're going to come out, you need to win it, and if you're not, stay on your line and let your defenders deal with it. But Jenna Kingsley, look at the elation here.
Let's take a look at what's coming up. Friday, 5 p.m, Melbourne City against Melbourne Victory. It's the Melbourne Derby at Amy Park, and that is one not to be missed. City coming off a bad loss to Perth. Melbourne Victory, 3 points in the bank against Canberra United. And then on Sunday, the Brisbane Roar, they will be really champing at the bit as they go to Suncorp for their home opener. what a match that promises to be from 2 p.m. on Sunday, Fox Sports 501.